So you're curious about Bellevue, Tennessee? In this video, Tucker and I are going to discuss what's up with Bellevue. Why does anybody need to know about it? What is Bellevue? It all starts right now. Hey, Tucker, let's just jump into it. What is Bellevue and where's Bellevue located?
Sure, Clay. So Bellevue is about 15 minutes from Nashville. It's on the west side of Tennessee. It's a little bit of an older area. I say that. It's more of an established area. A little bit of terrain, but you get really all the amenities that you want really close to Nashville.
That's exactly it. And so we're talking about zip code 37221 is going to be your pro tip to find Bellevue if you're searching around Nashville. It's actually a Nashville address, but we're talking about 15, 20 minutes west of downtown Nashville. Is that about right? Would you say, Tucker?
You know, it is, Clay. It's just not that far from anything. What we really like about it is when we really get into the details today, we're going to talk about how affordable this area, the number of homes and options that we have in this area, a few things we need to look out for, but there's something for everybody.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we love about it. So let's just start with, who would you recommend to look at Bellevue? What person needs to know about Bellevue, would you say?
You know, I think the number one person we always seem to be talking about is the outdoor person. But when you talk about Natchez Trace and how big that area is, or Warner Park, there's a lot of hiking trails, a lot of walkability. There's a lot that a lot of people aren't aware of.
Yeah, so that's probably one of the number one pros is the amount of green space and parks. Edwin Warner, Percy Warner are right there at the edge of Bellevue. And so you have mountain bike trails, horse trails. I got a lot of friends that run these trails and these parks. You know, you can actually run further than on pavement. It's easier on your joints if you're in the woods on a soft trail. So you get a lot of park lovers that Bellevue provides great access to, as well as Green Hills, Brentwood, you know, lots of areas that are not far. But Bellevue has a ton of access to parks. Fun fact, there's actually a cave in one of those parks right there in Bellevue that hardly anybody knows about, which is kind of cool. What else do you want to talk about with the topography and the lay of the land? What's it look like in Bellevue?
Sure. So the terrain is pretty aggressive. So there are times where you got a flat area and then you've really got some hills. So I think that's really slowed the development a lot of Bellevue, which has not really been, no one's been upset about it if you live in Bellevue. But what I do like is if you are looking for that townhouse, two-story townhouse with garage, duplex, or just an established home, 1 acre lot, you can have all those things. Are we looking for a fixer-upper? Those are available. So that's the key piece that I really like when we really start showing people about, here are the outdoor areas, here's your housing options. But then the third piece I really want to talk about is how much retail is right there in Bellevue.
A great point. I-40, as it goes west from Nashville, right there, it has a couple of different exits that service Bellevue. And one of those exits is going to be where all your major commercial really comes to a head. And there's going to be movie theater, you know, all kinds of restaurants, box stores. It's really, and it's been redeveloped in the last 10 years. So it's a huge asset. It's kind of probably the heart of Bellevue right there. Plenty of commercial. You got Starbucks, Publix, everything you're going to need, you know, you can do in Bellevue. And then you can drive into downtown Nashville very quickly. For those reasons, there's a lot of things to like there. What else, Tucker?
Sure. Well, first of all, let's not forget that the Ford Ice Center is there. That's where the Nashville Predators practice hockey. So they have that facility. It's also used for youth sports, for youth hockey. If you're going to go eat, which obviously we do, you have Honey Fire Barbecue. My son's favorite is DeSano's Pizza, Italian. They've got the big wood fire. It is phenomenal. And then just if you go, you realize very family friendly, very walkable area, and you feel safe, and that's always a plus too.
Yeah, it really has a different vibe than some of the other directions from downtown Nashville that may feel just different. Bellevue feels a little more quiet, not a lot of sketchiness, I would say. And there's a lot of just simple living there. And, you know, the beautiful thing is you can find townhomes. I would say townhome product starts somewhere in the 200 to 300 range. That's really the entry level for the Bellevue market. And then your house market is going to be 400, 500, 600 grand, 700 grand. You got a lot of options in those price categories. And so compared to everything else within a 20-minute, you know, circle around downtown Nashville, Bellevue arguably has the most value. Your dollar goes further there than just about any other direction that close to Nashville, because it truly is very accessible to downtown Nashville, right?
Absolutely. If appreciation is important for you, Bellevue really needs to be on your list. If you really need to work downtown or need easy access into downtown, Bellevue really needs to be on your list. And it's when we have people that are relocating here, if you had to pick one area in Nashville that you really feel comfortable about sharing and showing, Bellevue's on your list. And then we usually go out to Gallatin or pretty further out, but a lot of bang for your buck, really close by.
Really good point. I think comfortable is a good word for Bellevue. It's just a comfortable area to go to. You're not going to be uncomfortable in many areas of Bellevue, and your dollar goes pretty far there. So, and then you also have a couple other noteworthy things. You have things like Innsworth High School, private high school right there on the edge of Bellevue. You're going to have access to like the Natchez Trace right there at Bellevue, which is a huge, cycling area. Cycling, and also the Harley motorcycle crowd probably likes touring. It's a scenic parkway that goes through Mississippi, Louisiana kind of territory. So that's right there in Bellevue. You also have the Harpeth River, and so it spends a lot of time winding around Bellevue. So you have canoe access, fishing access. There's some really neat little parks around the water there. And in general, I'll also add, Bellevue has a ton of green space. It just feels very lush. It doesn't feel overdeveloped. And so it's a pretty area. It's just a peaceful, pretty area. Great access to Nashville. What else do people need to know?
Sure. So if you're a morning person like I am, you want to get up and have breakfast, go out to the Loveless Cafe right there near Natchez Trace. Phenomenal biscuits. It's a destination. Definitely check that out.
Yeah, Loveless Cafe, absolutely a highlight of Bellevue. And the other aspects of Bellevue is that it kind of touches that West Mead corridor down the West Nashville. So you got your hospital corridor, a lot of healthcare workers like Bellevue for the access there. And then you also have things like Jim and Nick's right there. And you have Nashville West, which is going to have Costco, some of your major box stores. That's right there on the edge of Bellevue between downtown Nashville and Bellevue. So lots of things to like as we look at Bellevue, right?
Yes, I think one of the other things I really like is obviously they have soccer fields there. I've got one that I swear that's all we do. And we definitely go out to Bellevue quite a bit, but I never feel like I'm just sitting in traffic. And so that's one of the pluses that I would really consider. Once you're done running at Percy Warner Park, go down to Sam's right off Highway 100. Great location, great food.
Man, I love it. Certainly some things to watch for. And if you're considering moving to Nashville and your price range is sub $1 million, you may want to look at Bellevue. You're going to have some interesting options there. I think it needs to be in people's radar. And so be sure and look for our vlog video. We're going to, actually do some house touring around Bellevue and give you a good idea. So watch for that video. Tucker, what else we got?
Oh, a couple of things. If we do need to talk about drawbacks of Bellevue, two things I want to cover is there was a big flood that came through here not too long ago, and that did affect certain parts of Bellevue. So when we start pulling up homes and they say, look, these are the homes we want to see, first thing we're checking is the flood map and see if you're going to need flood insurance, because we really want to take all those off the list. That's really important. Number two, you definitely do have some terrain. So you have a lot of houses that sit on a hill. When you have that, you're going to have a few more water issues. We really want to do our due diligence on those homes. Just make sure everything's going to be in good shape. And if it's not, then we're just going to tell you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Bellevue Plantation, big neighborhood in Bellevue. It saw heavy water damage. It's a townhome condo community. Back in 2010, heavy water damage. So a lot of those units got gutted, and they redrew the flood maps, I think, after that. So certainly noteworthy, but a lot of it's totally fine too. Lots of options for housing and condos and townhomes all throughout Bellevue. It's pretty interesting. Tucker, what else are you thinking?
It's Nashville, so we have to talk about famous people. And so you do have a lot of songwriters that actually live in Bellevue. So I do share that. Actually, the guy that wrote the Napa Know How song lives in Bellevue. The guy that created Crocs, and that's George Bobecker. He grew up and lives in Bellevue. And so I do share that. Henry Rollins is from Bellevue. And I thought that was comical. And of course, that's where Lainey Wilson, she's the new up and coming artist. My oldest Anna, we're going to go see her here in October.
Love that. Yeah, there's lots of reasons to live in Bellevue. And so, Hey, if this kind of information is interesting to you, on this channel, we just go around and explore Nashville and try to share our knowledge from selling real estate here with everybody who's watching. So we've sold a ton of homes in Bellevue and know it well. So happy to answer your questions about it. And don't forget, if you're moving to Nashville or interested in moving to Nashville and want to learn more, don't forget to subscribe and follow along with us as we explore these neighborhoods. Tucker, myself, we get contacted daily from people just like you about moving to Nashville, and we love it. Hit us up with a call, text, or an email and let us know what questions you have. And don't forget, if you're moving in 9 days or 9 months or 2 years, we'd love to talk with you and help you connect all the dots so you can make the right move. And until next time, we hope to show you around town.